Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment. It's your host MJ and it is time to recap week 1 of the 2017 NFL season. So what I'm going to do is every single Monday I'm going to come on here and give you my quick takeaways from each game. Now obviously I did not watch each game, but I watched tidbits, I watched highlights, and overall I'm just going to be talking about the teams, how they looked, and what to think about them moving forward. So let's start with the games I did not talk about. Again, I only talk about the games I did not talk about in separate videos, so you will not hear about the Raiders-Titans game today or the Chiefs-Patriots game today. You will have to check out those individual videos. So we start with the New York Jets losing to the Buffalo Bills 12-21. We expected this. This is exactly the way we expected this game to go. I have the Bills winning this game 17-10. I thought the Jets might cover the spread and they came really damn close. The spread was 8.5. They almost got it done, but they looked exactly how we expected. The one good thing for them was that Jamal Adams, their first round pick, he looked good, and Jermaine Kearse, whom they just traded for, they traded Sheldon Richardson away to get Jermaine Kearse, and he came in week 1 and made an impact. Okay, so there's some things here, there's some life in New York, but this team still stinks. I mean, Josh McCown, he completed well over 20 passes, but still only had like 189 passing yards. The run game was non-existent, whatever. As for the Buffalo Bills, it was a nice win, but it was the New York Jets. I want to see how you guys perform next week. I can't remember who you guys play, but it's a matchup where if you guys show up, I feel like you could win. I don't think you're going to, but you certainly could. So perhaps the Bills will be a sneaky team this year, but I'm going to have to see more than beating the New York Jets to show that. But Tyrod Taylor looked fine. The run game looked fine. Everything looked fine. This was exactly what we expected from the Jets and from the Bills, at least what I expected. We look at what the Philadelphia Eagles did as they went to Washington, and they absolutely ended up killing the Redskins, although this was a close game. Okay, it was 22-17, and then the Eagles got the huge play. Fletcher Cox, he came down and he absolutely stripped the ball away from Kirk Cousins. Eagles scored a touchdown, won the game 30-17. So it was closer than the score indicates, but I was really impressed by the Philadelphia Eagles. Remember, I had this team going 9-7 this year, and I really wanted to pick them to make the playoffs. I really did. But I know they're dangerous, man. Their defensive line is stacked. You saw that in this game. Brandon Graham, 2 sacks. Fletcher Cox, game-winning play. Derek Barnett didn't do much, but he will end up doing a lot. Their defense is stacked. Their offense still has some issues. Carson Wentz, he's taking that leap forward, but he still has some problems. Threw an interception, had a fumble, so he still has to fix those issues. But I like the Eagles this year. This further solidified that to me. It's only week 1, people. We need to be clear, it's only week 1. But I liked what I saw from the Philadelphia Eagles. And again, I wanted to pick y'all here, but in these divisional games, I like to go with the home team, so that's what I did. Give me a break. As for the Redskins, this is not great. Your offense is not flowing. I tried to give you guys the benefit of the doubt. I said, you know what? You lost Pierre Garçon, you lost Deshaun Jackson. It'll be fine because you have Terrell Pryor, and I expect Jamison Crowder to take a step forward. Now, Crowder is currently nursing a hip injury, and he looked awful. Okay, he had a fumble, ended up with like 14 yards. He was terrible. Terrell Pryor was okay, but the passing offense isn't working right now. Jordan Reed barely did anything. The run game is non-existent. The Redskins are in trouble. Next week, they go up against the LA Rams. If they don't win that game, they're in big trouble because the 2 games after that are against difficult teams. This Redskins team could start out 0-4 if they don't get on their grind right now. It's a bit problematic. Again, it's only week 1, but it's a bit concerning. This is a game that, to me, you should have won against the Eagles at home. You've beaten the Eagles now 5 times in a row. Now you haven't because they just got it done. We look at the other games, the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Houston Texans, and I said in my video, I said in my picks and predictions video, which by the way, I did pretty well, people. Thus far, we still have Monday Night Football games to be played, but I did pretty well. And I said the Jaguars will cover the 5.5 point spread. They did, end song. And I also said in that video, look, they could win that game because you currently have the Texans, who have Tom Savage at quarterback. Their best wide receiver is DeAndre Hopkins, who's good, but then they have no one else. And in this game, you saw that. You had DeAndre Hopkins, who came down with about 5 or 7 receptions, and only one other wide receiver caught a pass. I mean, CJ Fedorowicz came down with some passes, Lamar Miller did, but the wide receivers didn't do anything. This is a problem. Deshaun Watson came in the game, And I didn't think he did very well. Again, shocking, right? I didn't think Deshaun Watson did very well. Yes, he threw a touchdown. He also threw an interception. Should have thrown 2, okay? And I still don't believe in this guy. That's just me, especially in his rookie year. So the Texans are in trouble, okay? Again, this is only week 1. Last year, y'all lost games horribly against like the Patriots and stuff, and you guys still ended up making the playoffs. But these are the Jaguars, okay? And they got 10 sacks on you guys, man. This is a bit concerning. Only week 1, but a bit concerning here. They gotta fix the offense because right now it is awful, and they'll do fine. Like this week, they'll go up against the Bengals. And I don't know who I'm going to pick right now because both teams look awful. The Texans and the Bengals, they both look awful. But last year, you guys got it done against them. So I'm leaning y'all right now, but Texans fans, this is problematic, and I was trying to tell you, man, there are problems with this team, and I think you're finally seeing them now, although you should have saw them even last year, okay? Anyway, for the Jacksonville Jaguars, nice win, okay? But we still have a big butt in the room, okay? Big elephant in the room, and his name is Blake Bortles, because he only completed 11 passes in this game. It was 11 about 21, 125 yards, and Allen Robinson is done. He's out for the year, torn ACL. So we have our formula. We have Leonard Fournette, who's going to run the football. We have the defense that's going to hold teams down. I mean, you look at the additions of Calais Campbell. You look at the addition of A.J. Boye, the ascendance of Jalen Ramsey and company. Tashawn Gibson even did something in this game. You have to like this team moving forward in terms of that running the ball and defensive formula. But will Blake Bortles continue to win games? When these games are close, can he get it done? You guys face the Tennessee Titans this week, and if you win, you'll be on top of the AFC South. But we have to see if you can get it done because I think that game is going to be close. We move on to the Arizona Cardinals, who lost to Detroit 23-35. Lions got it done. I picked the Lions in this game. I was right here. And look, for the Detroit Lions, I like this win. You know, Lions fans, they feel like I hate them for some reason. Look, I picked you to win this game. I feel comfortable with Matthew Stafford in this kind of game. I saw things that I liked from the Detroit Lions in this game. Kenny Golladay, man, this guy looks good, right? Third wide receiver for the Lions right now. You look better than Marvin Jones a bit. Jones came down with a touchdown, but Golladay did much more. Golden Tate looks good. Amir Abdullah, not so much, but Jared Davis, your first-round pick out of Florida, he came in, he played well. There are things to like about the Lions, but the schedule coming up is difficult, although it looks a little better because right now the Giants don't look very good, and you guys face them next week. If you get it done, you'll be 2-0, and I like your chances moving forward. But I have to see it. Arizona Cardinals, problems. David Johnson, wrist injury. We're done. Okay, if this guy gets put on IR and he misses a sizable portion of the season, which appears to be the case at this moment, done. Okay, Carson Palmer, he had a horrible game this game, and he's fine. He's going to bounce back, but he's not going to be enough. This defense lost too many pieces, as I kept saying. You lost Tony Jefferson, you lost Calais Campbell, you lost Kevin Minter, you lost DJ Swearinger. This defense is going to take a step back, and we saw that in this game. They started out fine, but they ended poorly in this game. You like, Hassan Reddick, he had a nice game, but Robert Clowndici is battling injuries, and this defense, I don't think it's very good. In the offense with inconsistent wide receivers, John Brown, Jaron Brown, J.J. Nelson, they're going to move the ball consistently. Next week, you guys go up against Indianapolis in Indianapolis, and I know the score of their game indicates that they stink, but I'm not convinced y'all are going to win that game. I think you will, but I'm not convinced. Be careful, because without David Johnson, all the chips are on the table, and y'all could be in trouble. Okay, I mean, hopefully Carson Palmer can bounce back, because if not, y'all are in trouble. We move on to the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cleveland Browns. Again, what's wrong with the Steelers? I mean, they got it done, but can y'all stop underwhelming? The AFC looks like it could be had. Okay, the Patriots, they're starting off a bit groggy, and TJ Watt for the Pittsburgh Steelers had a great game. Remember, he was my pick for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Guess what he did? 2 sacks, an interception for an outside linebacker, rookie outside linebacker, TJ Watt. This guy's going to win the award, people. I told you in preseason. but only 21 points? I mean, the Cleveland Browns defense is improving, but there was no Myles Garrett today. Jabril Peppers made some plays, but damn it, y'all gotta score more points than this, and Le'Veon Bell didn't do much, and Antonio Brown did too much. 180 receiving yards, that's too much for him. He doesn't need that much. So we need to find the balance. Martavis Bryant didn't get involved, and then the fantasy zombie Jesse James came in and got 2 receiving touchdowns. Yeah, this offense is not where it should be, but it doesn't really matter right now. You got the W. I'm not really concerned about ugly W's right now because they're W's, and as long as you're playing your best play at the end of the season, it's fine. Okay, so you guys got the win at least. But at some point, Steelers, step it up and play up to your potential, at least by the playoffs, okay? So we'll be watching this as the season progresses. Deshaun Kaiser looked good for the Browns. You like that. Corey Coleman, he looks like he's better than I thought he was, man. This guy's looking decent. Kenny Britt, not so much. So there are things to like here for the Cleveland Browns, but they just weren't good enough in this game. Atlanta Falcons, okay, they got it done against the Chicago Bears, 23-17, but it was close. And let's talk about the Falcons first. See, some Falcons fans cannot believe me. Oh, they were so offended. Oh, how could you say in your predictions video that the Bears are going to contain our offense? They contained your offense. Now, Austin Hooper ended up with like an 80-yard touchdown. If it was not for that, the Bears could have won this game, but it was for that. You guys got it done. Okay, and then also we had Mike Glennon that went down the field, and then didn't get it done. First and goal, second and goal, third and goal, and fourth and goal. Now, I think this is fine. Again, it's another ugly win. Like, for those of you that follow EDP445, he was upset because the Eagles won ugly. Who didn't? I mean, everyone won ugly this week. You know, the Steelers won ugly. The Chiefs, they won pretty nicely, but the Patriots lost. You know, this is week 1. Of course, teams are winning ugly. Teams are losing poorly. Doesn't really matter. It doesn't indicate honestly anything right now at this point of what your team is going to look like near playoff time is what you should really care about, or at least when we're approaching the playoffs. So you guys got the win, and that's really what I care about right now. It affects the stat sheet in that manner. So I don't think we can take too many conclusions away from this game, but the offense right now, it's not as crisp as it was last year. The Bears defense is fine, but Julio Jones should have done more. Sanu was fine. Taylor Gabriel should have done more. Freeman should have done a little bit more. So we'll see, but I think the Falcons are fine. As for the Bears, so I had a lot of Bears fans telling me, hey, we did pretty good. Hey, we almost won the game. This was true last year. I mean, don't forget, Bears fans, y'all were in games last year. Remember, this was very similar to how you guys lost to the Tennessee Titans. Y'all went all the way down to the goal line and couldn't punch it in. Had a couple of drops in the end zone, could have won the game. You got to win these games. Look, the Bears defense is good enough to where you guys are going to be in games, but the offense is not good enough to get it done. And now Kevin White is done. He's finished. His career is over. His season's over. He's done. How the hell is this team going to move the football? Kendall Wright is your best wide receiver by far. Marcus Wheaton, I didn't see him in this game. Did he do anything? Now, we like Tariq Cohen. Okay, he was our rookie running back. He came in, he did well. But 2 running backs and a rookie tight end, we're not doing anything offensively. And Mike Glennon leading the pack. Until they start Mitchell Trubisky, it's going to be hard to close these games out. Y'all are going to be in games. I mean, don't think that just because you're going to go 4-12 or 5-11, that means that you're going to lose every game by 20 points. No, you're going to be in games. You just won't be able to win a lot of those close games. That is literally the only thing that separates teams that go that are 4-12 from like 8-8. That's the separation. The Chargers could have easily been 8-8 last season, but they couldn't close games. That's the separation, people. We look at the Baltimore Ravens as they beat the Cincinnati Bengals 20-0. Now, for the Baltimore Ravens, I like this. And, you know, one of the teams that I was really regretting giving a lower win total this year was the Ravens, because I was heading into this season just a couple of days before the season, and I was thinking, you know what? Man, this Ravens defense is looking good. They could be great. And they were pretty damn good last year. But I still didn't trust the offense. Now, in this game, it was good enough. Why? Because you guys shut out the Bengals. But Joe Flacco still only completed 9 passes. Are we going to win games like that this year? Probably not. Jeremy Maclin had a nice play, nice touchdown play, but no one else really did anything in the passing game. The running game was fine. Buck Allen, okay, he looks like he might revitalize, resurface his career. It was dead. Oh my God, it was dead. He's bringing it back alive. Terrence West played well in this game. But I need to see a bit more, but it would not shock me because this defense is really good. It would not shock me if we have a playoff team in Baltimore this year. I'm not saying that just because of this game. I'm just saying that heading into the preseason, what we saw in the preseason, I mean, the defense is great. They had a great draft class. They have guys coming in making plays, Tim Williams and company making plays. But this offense, Terrence West, an aging Jeremy Maclin and Joe Flacco, will they be good enough? We'll see, but I think they're going to finish second in the AFC North. We move on to the Bengals. What the hell? This was an absolute disaster. Andy Dalton with the worst game of his career, and we've had some bad playoff games, but this is bad. 4 interceptions, a lost fumble, awful, by the Red Rocket Rifle, whatever they call him. He was awful. I don't know what's wrong with him. I mean, obviously the offensive line stinks. He got sacked 5 times, and that hurt. But Andy Dalton usually makes better decisions than what I saw in this game. I hope this is only a one-game thing for him because if he starts stinking, the Bengals are in trouble. I still like the Bengals defense, but this offense today was awful. John Ross won't be coming back for a couple of weeks. Joe Mixon couldn't do anything. So these rookies we were so excited about, they're not doing anything for this team right now. The offensive line stinks, so we'll see how this team does. Vontaze Burfict will be coming back, but this was not good. And speaking of not good, we have the Indianapolis Colts against the LA Rams. Now, wow, okay, this is wow on both sides. Let's start with a positive note. Let's start by talking about the LA Rams, who scored 46 points. Now, they had a couple of pick sixes via Tremaine Johnson and LaMarcus Joyner, but still an offensive explosion for the LA Rams. Jared Goff looks like a legitimate NFL quarterback. And this is the thing, people love to poo-poo Jared Goff. They never watch college film on Jared Goff. The guy can play, okay? He can absolutely play, but last year he was awful. Let's call it what it is. Sean McVay, okay, the new head coach in LA, looks like he's getting something out of this guy. And the Rams, this is a dominant victory. And the next week, you guys go up against the Redskins, as I alluded to earlier. And I think I like y'all's chances in that game. So we'll see. Todd Gurley still not running very well to me. Had a touchdown, yes, but the yards per carry, not impressive. He needs to do better than this, people. But for now, you have to love this for the LA Rams. And as for the Indianapolis Colts, we got problems, okay? 46-9. People are calling for Chuck Pagano's job after week 1. Look, Andrew Luck is out, but this has been the case in the past, and they've been fine. Now it's a damn disaster. Matt Hasselbeck, he could hold down the fort. Scott Tolzien, no. Okay, so then in came Jacoby Brissett, and he had a nice 50-yard throw, okay? So we're going to see what he can do this year, or this upcoming week, because they face the Arizona Cardinals. Okay, and I think they can win that game in Indianapolis. I know people are going to be, oh, no, Indianapolis can't win anything. They're done. I remember a couple years ago, the Bucs got their asses kicked by the Titans week 1. They came back week 2, got the W. I mean, week 1, it doesn't show you nearly everything. So it would not shock me because this Colts team on paper is fine. It's similar to how it was last year. In fact, I think it's better. Frank Gore's gotten older. The wide receivers are about the same, and they traded Philip Dorsett, but the defense got better. Okay, they added Malik Hooker. They added Quincy Wilson in the draft. That's a good draft right there. Vontae Davis, he's going to be better this year than he was last year, although he didn't have a great game. But this Colts team is better on paper outside of the quarterback position last year, but now that the quarterback position is not currently where it should be with Andrew Luck out, they have problems. I think Andrew Luck is going to stride in at some point and start winning games for this team. I think. But the question is, how long will that take, and what will their record be at that point? We move on to the Carolina Panthers as they travel to San Francisco, and they got it done against the 49ers. This is one of my guarantees of the week, and I guaranteed it. So, Panthers looked fine. I mean, this was the 49ers, so you can't really make too many conclusions, but their defense looked really good. The offense is not as good as it should be, though. Cam Newton was missing some throws, only completed about 14 throws. Christian McCaffrey didn't make a huge impact. I need to see more. You know, you can win the NFC South being a defensive team. We've seen it before, and they've done it before, but I think they need to be a little bit more crisp offensively. So I want to see a little bit more of that, but it looked fine. They won by 20 points. It's fine, okay? As for the 49ers, I mean, you're still the 49ers. You've improved. Trust me. This week 1 game, it doesn't show everything. You're going to win maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 more games than you did last year. So look forward to that. But this was not great. You know, you couldn't go down and score at the goal line, so that was problematic. And, you know, the offense just couldn't move the ball consistently, and that's what's going to happen. You know, Pierre Garçon's your best offensive weapon. Carlos Hyde, you could also argue, but he's okay. Okay, and then outside of that, we just have nothing. We just traded away Vance McDonald. We're trusting George Kittle, the rookie, to come in and make a huge impact. He's not going to yet. The wide receivers outside of Garcon, honestly, guys, they're just not very good. And then Brian Hoyer is leading the way. So you're going to win some games. You're going to sneak up against the Cardinals. Okay, now that they don't have David Johnson, you're going to sneak up against them. You can beat the Rams again. You're going to have wins this year, but just not very many. We should have understood that heading into this season. We'll see what happens. Move on to the Green Bay Packers as they defeated the Seattle Seahawks 17-9, and this was a very low-scoring game. I thought it was going to be a bit more high-scoring than this, but ultimately the Packers got it done. Aaron Rodgers made the plays that he needed to make, specifically the touchdown throw to Jordy Nelson. It was very, very good indeed. This is Rodgers. This is what he does. For the Packers, it's a good win, okay? It was a good win. Honestly, I think a very good win. I mean, maybe your offense didn't score more than 20 points, but this Seahawks defense is loaded. We get that. We understand that. I'm taking this W from the Green Bay Packers. Okay, the defense was making plays, so we like that. I like the Packers this year. People keep telling me the Packers are so overrated. Every year, you guys overrate the Packers. Well, I'm taking overrated because this team is pretty good. They just beat one of the best teams in the NFC. They're going to go back to the playoffs and likely to the NFC Championship. Why? Because they've been to the NFC Championship 2 of the past 3 years. If this is overrated, I want me some overrated for the Tennessee Titans. As for the Seattle Seahawks, it's an L, okay? You guys can't win in Green Bay right now. Now, for some reason, I picked you guys to win in Green Bay, not for week 1. I knew Green Bay would win week 1, but for the playoffs in the NFC Championship game. And I think that could happen because, again, this is only week 1. We still have 17, 18 weeks, maybe even 19 weeks to go until the NFC Championship game. You hope in this period that Russell Wilson can find some chemistry offensively with his wide receivers and his offensive line. His offensive line continues to be in flux. The running backs aren't very good right now. They're playing Carson. They're playing Lacey. Ross couldn't play today, but he'll be back next week. There is no chemistry with this offense yet, but I think it's coming. And I think when this defense hits their stride, and they're pretty damn good in this game, but when it hits their stride with Sheldon Richardson and Richard Sherman and Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor, assuming they're healthy, of course, they're going to be really hard to beat. So I still like the Seahawks this year. This is exactly what I expected. I knew the Packers would win this game and they'd cover the spread. This was my prediction. But I'm not sleeping on the Seattle Seahawks by any means yet. They're going to be fine, people. Trust me on that. And then finally, we have the Dallas Cowboys against the New York Giants. Cowboys got it done. I tweeted right before this game that I had the Cowboys winning this game, and I had this in my predictions video, but I also now had them covering the spread because I felt, with Odell out and Zeke really being healthy and being ready to go, the Cowboys would cover the spread, and they did. They won 19-3. Oh, by the way, I should have made this point earlier. You know how all y'all love to tell me and all y'all love to say preseason doesn't matter, preseason doesn't show anything, preseason, pre doesn't matter. Well, the Giants offense looked bad against the Browns in preseason. It looked bad against the Cowboys in regular season. The Titans offense looked pretty bad against the Bears in preseason. Looked pretty bad against the Raiders in regular season. The Rams offense looked decent in preseason. It looked decent in the regular season. There are threads here, people. You should have seen in the preseason, this Giants offense ain't looking good. You can get some stuff out of preseason. Remember this next year. It doesn't tell you everything, but it tells you some things, and you could have saw this coming. They need to fix some things. Ben McAdoo is the offensive head coach for this team. He's the head coach. He's an offensive guy. He needs to figure out what the hell they're doing because they just have no easy concepts to me in this passing game. They have the occasional slant and whatnot, but Brandon Marshall, he didn't do anything in this game, and Eli Manning was inconsistent, and he having his Eli face like, I don't know what's going on, and it was bad. And Paul Perkins, the running game isn't coming together. The offensive line isn't very good, but the defense is still great. Okay, because the defense is great, you're going to be fine. But Odell Beckham, and this is why I'm trying to tell y'all, Do y'all realize how good this guy is? He literally carries this offense. Is this not evident? Is this not evident at this point how good Odell Beckham is? We are watching a transformational wide receiver, a future Hall of Fame wide receiver in Odell Beckham, who without the Giants stink offensively. This is nothing more than a testament to the skill and the play of Odell Beckham, who literally wins games for this football team. Wide receiver wins games for his football team. He's great, people. They need to get him back, okay? They're facing the Lions next week. If he's not back, I'm picking the Lions, even though that game is in New York. It ain't cold enough yet. Give me the Lions. So, you better get him back. As for the Dallas Cowboys, nice win. And I'm telling y'all, Dak Prescott ain't RG3. If you're sitting around waiting for a rookie regression, you're not going to find it. He's Russell Wilson. He is here to stay. He's a winner. He's going to be leading the Cowboys to the playoffs for years and years to come. This guy is good. But he missed some throws. And he and Dez Bryant still don't have a great chemistry to me, people. I know Janoris Jenkins was covering Dez and he was slowing down Dez. I don't think Dez Bryant and Dak Prescott have a great chemistry. I think Dak Prescott has a better chemistry with Cole Beasley and Jason Witten than Dez Bryant. This is what I believe. We'll see how this develops. But Ezekiel Elliott looked great, and he's fighting the league, and he's getting it done, and he has O.J. Simpson's lawyers, and it's great, so he's going to continue to play. It's awesome. He has a temporary restraining order from the damn league. Who the hell gets that? Ezekiel Elliott. So he's going to continue to do great. Cowboys, to me, will win the NFC East, not because of what happened in week 1. This is what I thought heading into the season, and this game helped me in that manner. So, again, those are my thoughts on week 1. Again, just to conclude on week 1, people, I said yesterday, some people thought that I said it doesn't matter. No, it certainly matters. It's a win or a loss on the score sheet. But just because your team looked a certain way in week 1 does not mean your team is going to look like that in week 8 or week 9 or week 10 or week 11 or week 12 or week 13 or week 17. For instance, consider the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's not even think about week 1. Just think about their, I want to say, week 9 matchup against the Miami Dolphins, okay? In which they looked really unimpressive, but they lost that game to the Miami Dolphins, and they were really disappointed, and it was horrible. If I would have took that game out, showed you that game before the season, you would have said, man, the Steelers don't look that good. However, if I would have showed you the game in which they kicked the Kansas City Chiefs' asses, you would have said, oh, they look great. Just like any other week, you can't take it out of context and think it really tells you what kind of team you're looking at. Okay, it's just one game out of 16. That's all it is. It's one game out of 16. This does not tell you what your team is going to look like for weeks and months to come. But it's a win or a loss on the stat sheet, and more importantly, also consider the fact that some of these teams, a lot of these teams played good teams this week, and a lot of these teams played bad teams this week. If you think the Titans, because they're 0-1, are worse than the Bills, who are 1-0, you're missing the point. It's just 1 week out of 16. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on week 1 of the 2017 NFL season. What are your thoughts? Comment down below. I want to know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. If I can, I'll be back to recap the Monday Night Football games. If not, you guys are kind of out of luck, but I'll try my best, believe you me. Until next time, I'm out. See you all later.